What's up, motherfuckers? It's UFC Fight Night. Almabayev versus Kape going down on Saturday night, and it's Thursday night in the middle of the fucking night, and I'm jumping on live. Am I bright? Should chill this out. I am bright as hell. There we go. A little bit better. Folks, let's talk some fist fights at midnight on the fucking West Coast. That means you guys in the East Coast. If you're up right now, what's wrong with you? Go to bed. Don't listen to me. I'm going to talk about each fight on the card. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown, and we could talk in the chat if you're a degenerate like me and up this late on a Thursday. Let's go. We'll start with Montana De La Rosa versus Luana Carolina. I'm going to go with Luana Carolina, but I am concerned about the takedowns of Montana De La Rosa. De La Rosa was able to take down Andrea Lee 3 times. If she could hit takedowns against Carolina, that would be trouble. Carolina should be a better striker than her. I do believe that Carolina is the better prospect out of the two, but I'm not so confident in it that I'm running a bet on the damn thing. I'll go Luana Carolina with a decision. Next, Douglas Silva de Andrade versus John Castañeda. I do like John Castañeda here. He's in his prime. And Silva de Andrade is not. I don't think Castañeda's that great. It's not about Castañeda ever being a real contender. It's about, on this one, sort of picking against Silva de Andrade, which, by the way, doesn't always work, right? The most confident picks, you have to have both confidence in the person you're picking to win and perhaps some reasons to doubt the other folks. With this one, I don't think that John Castañeda has a bright UFC future. So I'm going to pick him here, but with that asterisk. Charles Johnson versus Ramazan Temirov. This is a good fight. I like this one. Charles Johnson, pretty good UFC run, 4-fight win streak right now, and they're against decent competition. You got to respect Charles Johnson. And that's the reason why he's like a very slight favorite, or it's even odds or so. As to where with Ramazan, real prospect, very talented striker. I like what I see from him. He's more explosive than Charles Johnson. He's a better athlete than Charles Johnson. He has more power. He sets traps that are surprising. It's surprising when he spins, when he bombs on you. He can kind of lunge into range real quick and catch you with something. I think that, some people fall into this breakdown where it's like Charles Johnson's just better at distance. And if you don't have, if he has longer arms than you, it's a problem. I do think he's going to have an issue with the ability of Ramazan to close distance with those looping shots, be able to throw a spinning back kick from range, being able to be an athlete in there and be explosive in there. The UFC experience, I respect. The names he's beaten, I respect for sure. If it goes to the third round, you could imagine a Charles Johnson having a surge in a third round, but he's in danger early on, especially with Mr. Temirov. So I'm going to go with the OV, and it's a striker OV, and it's an OV that I think has the potential to knock anybody in the division out. He can really explode in, and he's a real talent. So a real test for him. Make no mistake about it. Okay? Saint CJ Vergara. This is Charles Johnson, who's well-rounded, good Muay Thai fighter, pretty damn disciplined, fairly reliable. I'm going to go with the talent in this one. Give me Temirov getting it done. JJ Aldrich versus Andrea Lee. I'm going to go with don't fucking bet on this fight. You savages. Who out there is going to go put their hard-earned money on a 13-7 versus 13-10 fight? What are you doing with your life if you're going to bet on this fight? The only thing I've heard that makes any sense is somebody who really doesn't believe in Andrea Lee, really thinks this fight skid she's been on is just unacceptable, and she doesn't belong in the UFC. But look, she went to a split decision with Macy Barber. She's gone to close decisions with these girls. She's okay. I know the record's 13-10, but both of these ladies have vast experience as amateurs. they're both vets, Andrea Lee being older, I understand, but is she that far out of her prime? I don't really think that's the issue here. Coin flip of a fight. I would not touch this one, folks. Do I have to give a pick? Why the fuck do I have to pick this fight? I don't. Next, Danny Barlow versus Sam Patterson. I'm going to go with the dog. And I've been saying it all week, folks. I dropped this one on Monday. I think Sam Patterson's legit. Look, Danny Barlow's got punching power. Danny Barlow is the more explosive striker. Danny Barlow can put anybody out. But beyond that, we're not seeing a lot of layers to the onion. As to where Sam Patterson, I think he was able to showcase his skill set against a Kiefer Crosby. I know it's Kiefer Crosby. I'm aware. Okay? I know what Khabib said about the Irish. Okay? I've been watching. But hear me out. Sam Patterson is just as likely, if not more likely, to finish this fight with his skill set. It's a puncher's chance if you're going Barlow. And Barlow's been in some close ones, and most of his finishes, his highlights are against not UFC caliber competition. I do think Patterson is live here. And he was like plus 260 when I last looked. No, I didn't look at the odds today. Why do you think I'm on at midnight? Because I'm not busy. But I did my homework on this card, and when I'm looking at Sam Patterson, I see a guy who has more ways to win. He's got a better ground game. He's got, even if the fight is going against him, right? We've seen him be a little gun shy against somebody who can punch. I even think he'd get this thing done off of his back. I think Danny Barlow is suspect. And so, especially, I don't know. I feel like some people overrate him, man. So I'm going Sam Patterson, dog money. Lucas Almeida versus Danny Silva. Slight lean to Danny Silva, but Lucas Almeida, I don't doubt. I mean, this one was tough because I went back and forth with AJ DeVito on this one. Shout out to him over on our Moneyline show if you want to go check that out. Danny Silva is what, a favorite against him? The Andre Feely loss really not aging well for Lucas Almeida. Pat Sabatini loss showing his vulnerability on the ground. And is that an issue here? No. So I'm kind of just staying away from it. Josh Kulabayao, split decision. It was close, but Danny Silva's got a little 3-fight win streak he's been able to put together here. LFA is a good organization. Goes into Dana White's Contender Series against Angel Pacheco. And then Josh Kulabayao is a serious UFC debut. I think you could favor him here over Lucas Almeida, who's mid. I'll go Silva. Not really touching it. Ricardo Ramos versus Chepe Mariscal. Now we're cooking with oil. Ricardo Ramos is talented but inconsistent. Chepe Mariscal's a fucking bull in a china shop. Chepe Mariscal is going to break the glass. He's going to knock shit over. He's going to be able to eat a shot and keep coming forward. He breaks guys, and he's stronger than ever. And he used to be a coach over at UFC Gym River North, where I was the general manager. So I indirectly employed Chepe for a while, and it's been very cool to watch him grow in his career. I do think right now is his prime. He's undefeated in the UFC, and I think he should be able to smash Ricardo Ramos. So Ricardo Ramos, Manny Vasquez rear naked strangled him. That was the first time I ever saw him fight. Dana White was at the fight, and Manny said he was supposed to go there and, sign Ricardo Ramos back then. Ricardo Ramos gets finished. Shout out to Manny Vasquez. Excuse me. Just ate dinner. Shout out to Manny late night. Shout out to Manny Vasquez for, I call him the human backpack. He's got like the best rear naked strangles and the XFO and the, lower level organizations. And brother Ricardo Ramos was a prospect Now he's in the UFC and he's pretty 50-50. He's had some, I mean, he's over at Fighting Nerds, which, like, you got to respect the Fighting Nerds. That's a solid team, and I'm sure they're doing good things for him. But Chepe Mariscal training at elevation. Chepe Mariscal should be able to overwhelm him. I don't think the submission threat is real enough for Ricardo Ramos, and even on the feet, Chepe's got a thud to everything he throws. I think he moves forward. I think he, beats him up on the fence, drags him onto the floor, wears him out, potentially gets him out of there in the third round. Chepe for the win. Austen Lane versus Mario Pinto. Don't think Austen Lane's a badass because he was able to beat Robelis de Spain. Austen Lane football tackles people. This shit is not high-level wrestling. And we've seen Pinto, have to get up underneath a big dude who might not have been all natural. Okay? I was watching his performances outside of the UFC. He's fought some big boys, and he's consistently shown me he's been able to get up and often defend takedowns. And so if this thing's on the feet, I think it's one-way traffic. I think Pinto could piece him up. I like his striking. I like his Muay Thai. He's a big dude, right? Austen Lane's big advantage. He's big. Pinto's going to match him there. Really nice striking showcased on Dana White's Contender Series. I think that he's able to get Austen Lane out of there. So Austen Lane, not impressed. We're going to go Pinto. Nasrat Haqparast and Esteban Ribovics. Just got in a debate about this one today. I'm on the Ribovics side. I think Nasrat is mid-tier, and I think that Ribovics is more talented. I think he's going to be able to hurt him on the feet. I think Ribovics is, a solid striker and should be able to handle shit against the Nasrat, who's going to try to eke out a decision here. Esteban Ribovics, maybe getting him out of there, maybe goes all rounds. William Gomis versus Hyder Amil. Hyder Amil's not good. William Gomis is boring. In France, that was a bad performance. He won. But the problem is Hyder Amil the guy to get him out of there? I don't think William Gomis is going to engage in the type of fight that Hyder Amil is going to want. Hyder Amil wants brawl, right? Hyder Amil wants you to engage. I think William Gomis is going to use that 6-foot long frame with his low outputs. He should be able to handle a Hyder Amil on the feet. His game's a little vanilla, but I do think William Gomis gets past a Hyder Amil here. So William Gomis is the pick. Cody Brundage versus Julian Marquez. No way this is the co-main event, right? This must be out of order. I'm just going to say this is out of order. Because how the fuck are you not going to put Chepe and Ricardo Ramos? I mean, Temirov and Charles Johnson, etc. above Cody Brundage and Julian Marquez. Cody Brundage was dog money early in the week when I saw it. I got Cody Brundage. Julian Marquez is not even UFC caliber. Like, at least Cody Brundage has a future in the UFC. At least Cody Brundage can wrestle a bit, can, absorb a strike. I'm concerned that Julian Marquez doesn't have a chin and kind of throws caution to the wind. There's rumors swirling around about him that he's not in shape for this fight. I think Cody Brundage, dog money here. Although, like I was saying earlier, you're kind of betting against Julian Marquez, so be careful. But, Cody Brundage should get it done. I'm going to go Cody Brundage in a not great fight. You want to know what a great fight is, though? In the main event, Manel Kape is fighting Asu Almabayev. Asu Almabayev is a solid wrestler. He seems to have cardio. He seems to be able to pull through adversity. His striking's not bad. But Manel Kape looks like the truth to me. Manel Kape's striking is high level. He's got a lot of experience outside of the UFC and in Ryzen and all over the place. Manel Kape has fought a who's who at this point. And, watching him Why am I blanking on the name right now? Watching Manel Kape break his foot. Jesus. You're at home yelling the name at me. Watching Manel Kape go through some adversity in the grudge match that he had where he broke his toes against Muhammad Mokaev. Jesus. Muhammad Mokaev is a solid wrestler. Muhammad Mokaev wasn't able to consistently out wrestle Manel Kape there. I wasn't like worried, right? Boring fight between those two. And then Manel Kape bounces back really nicely against Bruno Silva. And I know he was favored to win that fight, but Bruno Silva's decent. I think people underrate Bruno Silva. Manel Kape beat his ass, man. Manel Kape is the truth. So I think Manel Kape's working his way up to a title shot here. I think Manel Kape's striking's legit. I think if he doesn't break his toes and shit, he'll do better. And his takedown defense is probably good enough. You know, we've seen Asu Almabayev struggle to hit takedowns. He's not some dominant wrestler. He's not from Dagestan. You know, I think Manel Kape can win this thing. I like him in this fight. I like that, you know, he's been the one booked for this main event and that it's Asu Almabayev on a little bit shorter notice. Manel Kape's the truth. Let's go with Manel Kape getting this thing done. Does it go decision or not is the real question. If anybody finishes the fight, you would think Manel Kape, although Asu Almabayev, you know, if he's able to get the grappling going, that's where I think he wins like 3 out of 5 rounds or something, right? This is his pathway. Manel Kape, head kick, right? TKO sometime. All that's live. Asu Almabayev, though, hands high, nothing crazy and stupid. You can imagine this thing at least getting into the later rounds. So just give me Manel Kape straight down. All right. One more time for the people in the back. I'm going with Manel Kape in the main event. I'm going with Cody Brundage, who's dog money, by the way. I'm going with William Gomis. Give me Mario Pinto over Austen Lane. I like Esteban Ribovics over Nasrat Haqparast. Give me Chepe Mariscal. Shout out to my Chicago brethren. Over to Ricardo Ramos. Danny Silva over Lucas Almeida, I guess. Sam Patterson over Danny Barlow. Andrea Lee and JJ Aldrich. Skip. Kind of want Andrea Lee to win. I think people are overlooking her. Is it because of the 13-10 record? Charles Johnson versus Ramazan Temirov. I'm going Temirov. Good one. I like it. I like the talent of Temirov. Douglas Silva Andrade versus John Castañeda. Castañeda because he's not old. And Montana De La Rosa over Luana Carolina. No, flip it. I think Luana Carolina gets it done. I think Luana Carolina uses her striking and is able to defend these takedowns. But Montana De La Rosa has a pathway. It's an interesting one. So am I going to look at these lady fights to bet on? Fuck that. All right? If you take anything away from today, know that I'm not betting on the ladies' fights. You know what I'm saying? New setup, Finch? No, the lighting's all crazy. I just fucking new lighting. 6 p.m. in Australia. Let's go. All right. Decent time for Paku. Talk about late night. I know Lethal Sugar is late as fuck. Thank you for coming through. Gomis and Kape is plus 113. That is interesting. I did pick both of them. Let's go, Pepino. 3 a.m. in Florida. I know, Cody. What the fuck are you doing up at 3 a.m., bro? Welcome to the Night Owl crew. Speak truth, my brother, while I'm on the graveyard shift. Let's go, Alex. I'm going to help you get through this fucking graveyard shift. All right? Let's talk fist fights. I don't trust Lee or Aldrich. That's what I'm saying. Kape gets the W. I think so. I like the main event, man. It's good. And Asu Almabayev is a legit test for Kape. If he looks impressive here, if he's able to score a finish against an Asu Almabayev, you could imagine Kape being right there at the top of the division after losing to Muhammad Mokaev just 2 fights ago. You know, he's good, man. He was real impressive against Bruno Silva. I mean, I can't doubt him after seeing that. You know, if you had a wrestler who you could really rely on to hold Kape down, that would be different. Asu Almabayev just doesn't quite sell me on that. I'm not sure that that's the case. So I'm going to go with the proven veteran, Manel Kape, who should be a league above Almabayev in the striking department. All right? Now, remember, they're at the apex, so I am considering the little cage with all of these matchups, as should you. It's a decent card. There's been a ton of MMA news I can go into. I'll probably be talking about it throughout the week. I mean, it looks like Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria is going down. I'm salivating to see that one. That would be cool. My prediction would be International Fight Week, right? July 5th. That would make sense. Do they get it done earlier? I'd prefer that. Yeah. I prefer they get it done earlier. What do? It would slide in nicely there. So I can imagine them targeting that. But, if we get to see it in May, all the better. Paddy Pimblett versus Michael Chandler. I talked to my boy T today, and he was already telling me that he likes Paddy the Batty in that one. I don't know, man. I think Michael Chandler is going to be kind of a problem. But, count me as a Paddy the Batty doubter. So there's also that part, right? I'm going to have to try to take the bias away, respect the submission game of Paddy the Fatty. And, he's had time. He looked good against King Green. Michael Chandler's a little bit different of a beast, a little bit explosive, but man, Michael Chandler gets himself into trouble. So does he put himself in a submission? I don't know. We'll look at that one and break that one down. And then they gave Bryce Mitchell, it was just announced recently, they gave Bryce Mitchell Gene Silva. Oh my goodness. Everybody who was saying, Bryce Mitchell, give him a death sentence, give him, John Jones next. Give him Tom Aspinall next. We want to see Tom Aspinall versus Bryce Mitchell. You got the next best thing. You got a vicious striker in Gene Silva taking him on. Striker versus grappler, right? Bryce Mitchell, don't forget. He's got the ground game. He could put you in a twister. Okay? He might think the earth is flat. He might go fishing with some suspicious folks. Some real bad guys. However, he could definitely grapple. So, pure striker versus grappler matchup. He's absolutely fucked on the feet, but we'll see if he could hit takedowns. That's the real question there, right? Got to look into the wrestling there of Mr. Silva. Obvious lean is Gene Silva, but you know what? I don't know if it's as much of a death sentence as the whole internet seems to think it is. Gene Silva's knockout was fucking spectacular. It was very impressive against a world champion kickboxer. But what if they're not kickboxing? We'll look at it. BKFC Albuquerque, fuck yeah. Let's go. BKFC Albuquerque is going to be great. I got Cody Vital, who's fighting in BKFC coming up here, training at UFC Gym Huntington Beach. Good to see him. Over at UFC Gym Huntington Beach, we had the great Merab Devashvili. He corrected me on the last name. I'm trying to get it right, Merab. That interview is up on my shorts on my YouTube. And then I also talked to Giga Chikadze, and I got to drop that one for y'all. I will this weekend for show. Okay? Maybe I'll get it up tomorrow. Just got to edit a little bit. Giga Chikadze is the man. It got announced. He's fighting Mr. David Onama. And I'll break that one down for you guys. I'm super excited too. I got to watch Giga Chikadze and Merab spar 5 rounds, at least, maybe more, in the octagon at UFC Gym Huntington Beach. And it was awesome. And I'm not telling you shit. All right? Got to be a gentleman about that shit. I'm going to do an interview with Giga for sure. I think I'm going to go in person because I see him all the time at the gym. Rampage is there in the morning. I should probably talk to Rampage before he boxes Rashad Evans. I'm filming content for techniques. I mean, I'm trying to double, triple, quadruple down on the content for y'all. So do me a favor. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the post notifications on, and jump in the free Telegram. No reason to miss those. I've been on fire. I know Daniel Dubois got sick, but we're on quite the streak in the free channel, and we're on quite the streak in the premium channel. The locks have been hitting week after week after week. The parlays have been hitting week after week after week. So jump in for this week because I dropped a double parlay of the week in addition to the lock, in addition to some premium plays, and I might even drop another play before the fights come in. All right? If you want to see my favorite bets for UFC Fight Night Kape versus Almabayev, jump over there in the premium channel. All you got to do is DM at Mike Finn Show on Instagram. My boy T will get you in. All right? Every single week, we're dropping the most confident picks. Every single week, we're dropping the full card predictions. Enjoy the fist fights, and I'll see y'all soon. Until next time, it's peace and love.